All right, welcome back to the Fossil Ridge High School Goals and Glory podcast. Today we are with a special guest, Ricardo Perez.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, he's the captain of our varsity soccer team. So today we're just going to talk about how our season's been going since our last episode, and just about future goals, future games, and just things like that we need to sort out a little bit.
All right, so since we last had a podcast, we played Pooter right away, right after that podcast, and then a couple days later we played Erie, and then last week on Thursday we played Prairie View. And we won all three of those games, so we're 3-0 in league, and we're in first, which is good to see.
Do you guys have any questions about our league games?
How did the Pooter games, Erie games, how did all those games go? Give us a little rundown of it.
So, Pooter was our opening league match. We beat them 1-0. It was a pretty close game. They weren't bad. Who scored? Was it
Manu?
Manu, yeah. I mean, we should have scored a couple more, but, you know, it is what it is. At least we came out with the win.
We always play, league games and, crosstown rivalry games are always close, no matter what. It's always, no matter what, every single time we play. And as a crosstown rival, it's always, 1-0, 2-0. It's never, a blowout.
Yeah.
And then our Erie game was a 3-2 win, which it was a little bit shaky. We were losing 1-0, and then was it 1-1 or was it 2-1?
It was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, and then we brought it back and scored the third goal.
T scored 2 goals that were pretty much within 5 minutes. And
they were within a minute of each other.
Both in the last 10 minutes of the game, and it was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
and from what I've heard, there's a little bit of chirpiness going on in that game. So you want to talk about how they influenced you guys?
Yeah.
Did it motivate you guys at all?
So it was just they are a 4A team who we've never beat us before, and their goal was some kid scored a screamer from 40 yards out, which was not supposed to happen.
No,
and they just they just got in their heads and thought they were all that, and started talking so much trash, more than I've ever heard.
It was crazy.
And I got mad, and then I backed it up.
Yeah,
thankfully, because that would have been bad if I trash talked and didn't score.
Yeah, I think for some of us it got us fired up, at least for T, because once he started talking and getting into it with the other team, then it was kind of just fired him up, and then 2 goals came after that. But it was definitely interesting. We haven't had a game like that yet with a lot of trash talking. So
was it a fun game to play?
Oh, so
it was
fun.
really fun.
So fun.
It was really fun. But if we didn't get a result, then it would not have been fun at all. So
it's valid.
Then last week we played Prairie View, who
they were just trash.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah, it came to that game and it was a little brutal to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
We've been playing with our backup goalie for every single one of our league games.
Yep.
Which is kind of why it's been a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
But 4-2 against Prairie View. Us 3 scored all the goals.
Yeah.
But I mean, even though they scored twice, we still should have had more. Shouldn't have been that close of a game.
Yeah. We got 4, thankfully. But we tied in the second half. It was 1-1.
Yeah.
So that was way too close.
Yeah.
But once again, we have Charlie back, who's
Also, in a game like that, the subs get a lot more minutes, and when that happens, it's just quality goes down a little bit. But it's not bad. Came out with the win.
Yeah, thankfully. And then today, we play Rocky Mountain, crosstown.
Yeah.
Biggest game of the season, definitely.
Yeah, so this is whoever wins this wins the entire Front Range League. So right now, Rocky has won 2 games and they tied 1, and we're 3-0.
No, they lost to Loveland.
No, they didn't.
No,
they beat them 5-0.
Who'd they tie?
Erie.
They tied Erie.
But, if they beat us here, they'll probably win out for the rest of the league and finish number 1. So
at best we would get second in league, which is not a good seed.
Right now we're 8th in the state, first in league, but a loss to Rocky would just drop us 10 places.
Yeah, and they beat our other crosstown rival, Collins, which it's usually us and Collins who are fighting for the league title.
Yeah.
So it's a little different this year.
Yeah, they have like a lot of momentum going into this game. They're playing at home, coming off a win against Collins 3-1.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to...
What team do you think has more momentum? Because off of our last podcast, we talked about how your team kind of was starting to lack a lot of chemistry. It was starting to lack a lot of momentum and drive. But from what I've seen, it's kind of came back. Do you guys think you have more momentum going against them?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I just think like winning our past 3 games would just like give us that momentum because we were kind of like let down, and also scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think like when you're playing a team like Rocky, where it's just like, again, like there's probably gonna be a lot of trash talk, a lot of like dirty play. You kind of just need to like stay focused. You kind of like got to keep your head in the game, or else once it gets out of control, that's when like they score stupid goals, and that's how you lose a game like that. But I honestly think they probably have more momentum than us right now, especially playing at home.
Yeah.
But
they scored 8 goals. I mean, no, they've scored 11 goals in their last 3 games.
Yeah, they've been doing good. But I think just like individually, like every single player on our team is better than every single player on their team. Yeah. So I think if we just kind of like stay calm and play, we should be good. We should be fine. I'm not worried about that.
We took care of Rocky in preseason.
Yeah.
Here at home, we beat them.
It was a 2-1 game.
2-1. Yeah.
I scored both goals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Captain. So hopefully that won with another result like that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So what do you think like the biggest thing that's changed within the team? Has it been like the winning streak, or did someone finally yell at everyone to say like, get your head in the game, we need to start winning? Or what do you think it has been that's changed the chemistry of the team so far?
I think that we just like we played Pooter, who was like a significantly worse team than us, and like winning just kind of like made us like feel better about ourselves, and so then we just kind of like started playing better. I would say.
The momentum kind of.
Yeah. Also, like as the season goes on, like we have a whole bunch of young players this year, new to varsity. They're just kind of getting used to it, and I mean, like we haven't been subbing much, especially in important games.
Yeah.
But so I think they haven't really like adjusted yet. But as the season's been going on, they've been getting better at that, and also I think like coming off a tie against Smokey and a loss to East kind of just
woke us up.
Yeah.
And also, Taylor kind of has started to get... He got more strict, and we added tons of, like, just, like, simple punishments in practice.
Yeah. Like
120s if you lose the ball or something.
Yeah.
It's been hard with a new coach because our coach was, he's not here anymore.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Taylor's done a great job of stepping up.
Yeah.
Taylor's taken us to... This is like one of our best records we've had.
For sure.
Long time.
Sure.
6-1-2.
Yeah. It's
a really good start.
A lot better than last year.
Yeah.
Last year we were like 3-3-1 or something going in the league.
And we had the exact same opponents last year, so it's a way better start.
Yeah, and honestly, we should be 7-1-1, but terrible tie at Smokey. Really hurt us.
Also that Grandview game, we could honestly be 8-1 right now.
Yeah,
but
we let. Also, having to walk around and not having to walk around, but hearing when you're 8th in the country, just definitely got to everyone's heads.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice not being 8th in the country. Like, we have nothing to lose now.
Exactly.
It's kind of like... So that's also, I would say, what is a reason that momentum has kind of turned around, is like all the pressure was off our shoulders after the East game. So, we've just been playing good soccer.
Definitely.
Love to hear it. Should we go into goals now? Because I know last podcast we talked about you had different offensive, defensive goals. Do you guys want to break those down real quick and see how far we've gotten on them or progress on them?
Yeah, so our goalie goals have not been going well, but also since Charlie got the concussion, he's been out for 2 weeks. One of the goals that he set for the goalies was no goals conceded in league.
Technically he's still doing that.
Yeah, he hasn't conceded any goals, but the goalie group as a whole has conceded like 5.
Group.
So I guess you can't really do anything about that. Charlie got a really bad concussion, so that goal we have conceded in league many times already.
That's also like a goal for our defense. Clean sheets in league, but they haven't really done the best job of that.
They have not done a good job, really, at most of their goals this season, I
would say, like, the defense is the spot on the field where there's, like, every 10 minutes there's a sub going on.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much competition there for like starting spots and stuff.
Yeah.
And like everybody's like at the same level there.
Yeah.
And it's just it's kind of hard when you're playing 10 minutes and getting pulled out to find your rhythm in the game.
Yeah.
Which is why I think when we play a team like East and we have 5 subs in the first 20 minutes in the back line, it's a little hard to stop them from scoring.
Yeah. And Taylor's made it a point, like, the subbing is like he wants kids to step up and like prove that they want their points, but it just seems like they're all on like the same level.
Yeah.
And so the like continuous subs have just been going on for many weeks now, which is not good. So hopefully that with like everyone getting rested and settling down in the league, the defenders can start like claiming their starting spots. Because it sucks to be told you're starting 1 week and then you play a bad game and then you are benched the next. So hopefully their confidence can get back up.
Yeah.
And then midfield goals, Ricardo.
So our first goal was to like switch the ball a lot, you know, like just keep possession, not play long balls. We haven't done the best job of that. Like it's definitely gotten better as the season's gone on.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like every team you play has a different play style. They play different formations and stuff. So it just depends who you're playing. You have to kind of adjust to that. We also lost Danny, who was playing in the midfield, and he's a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
But then we also had to have 30 goal contributions by the end of the season. We're doing an all right job of that.
We're like 12 goals scored this year?
Yeah. And so Ricardo, you have what, 3 or 4?
4 goals and an assist, and Danny has a goal.
Yeah.
So we're getting up there. We got a couple games coming up like Loveland where we should be able to put in 8 or 9 goals.
Stat padding a little bit.
Stat pad a little bit.
And then our offensive goals. Our first one was score 60 goals, which is definitely not going to happen. So last year we scored 47 throughout the year, but our goals have just kind of like we scored 9 against Smoky Hill last year, and this year we tied them 0-0. So obviously we take a big hit there. We haven't played the really bad teams yet, like Loveland or Brighton or any of them. I guess it really just is Loveland because Prairie View was.
Yeah, Brighton's not bad this year.
Yeah. So 60 goals is definitely an overestimate. And then also
right now
we're at
12 or something.
And another goal was fluidity, and like that's something that I feel like we are doing a good job at, because our front three, like we've gotten to the point where we don't even have to like say anything to each other. We just like switch, and it like works really well. So I think that's something that we're actually doing a good job at.
And then also it was 30 assists, I think, and I personally don't have a single assist.
I have 2.
I know Caleb has probably 3, Mono has a couple, so we're not doing bad. But then again, our offense really does not sub at all. Like there's probably about 5 of us that sub with each other.
Yeah.
Me, Manu, Drake, Caleb,
and Lucas.
Yeah. Pretty much just switch with each other, so it's kind of hard to spread the goal contributions around, but I don't know. I'd say us 5 are getting up there, but it's obviously hard to do just by ourselves.
Yeah.
Just wait.
All being seniors, what do you guys see for the coming years in the Fossil soccer program?
Yeah, I think that we have a decent amount of juniors on the team that are either starters or very good players, and we have a lot of sophomores, a lot more than we have in previous years,
and a freshman,
and
3 sophomores, 1 freshman this year.
Yeah,
and our freshman starts some games.
Yeah,
he's really good.
And if you look at where on the field the young kids are, it's really like next year the goalie Charlie will be back, and the fullback line, a couple midfielders are going to be back, but almost all of the attackers are graduating.
Yeah.
So I think like the biggest thing with that is we have a lot of younger players, but we don't have a lot of younger players starting.
Yeah.
So our entire midfield is seniors. Our front 3 is seniors. Our back line, we have 1 senior and then 3 underclassmen.
Yeah.
So I think like it's just a really hard adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, when you're bringing out like 9 new players onto the field that didn't start the previous year against a team like Denver East, who always have like a really, really good team, it's just like it's probably going to be a pretty big drop in level.
Yeah.
My younger brother is how many? I don't underclassmen attackers do we have? It's really only my little brother.
Yeah.
It might just be it, and Andrew Paddock might play winger next year, but
he's a defender. Ben's a defender.
And I mean, JV is like they're looking like all right, like their attack's looking all right. There's some players that could fill in.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to pull up like 10 or 11 players next year.
Yeah,
which is quite a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of seniors this year.
But then again, we also pulled up how many? We have 10 new varsity players this year.
Yeah,
we're doing pretty good. So you never know. And you never know what's going to happen with the coaching next year, if they're going to get a new assistant or anything. So
new head coach, you never know. Taylor has been talking a lot about Coach Mert joining the task force, and I think that would be a great addition. He's really knowledgeable about soccer. He's played his entire life.
Played for Barcelona.
Yeah. Great player. He's Turkish.
Yeah, so. knows the game.
Knows the game.
So hopefully he can step up next year. This year it's just hard because he was supposed to be the C-team assistant. I don't think he was expecting to be the varsity assistant coach.
Yeah.
So next year, once he has time to prepare.
Yeah, he's been busy with school and stuff, but, he should be taking a bigger role next year.
Yep.
All right, so my next question is for you, Ricardo. So I know you've been captain and on varsity all 4 years. Can you tell us what your experience and the things you've seen throughout your high school career here?
Yeah, so it's really changed every year. So my freshman year we had a COVID year, so we played 10 games. That was just a great team. That was probably the best team I played on. We went 7-1-2. We had the 8th best record in the state, and we got voted out of playoffs by Coaches Poll because there was some racist comments against Legacy. So just because of that, we didn't make playoffs.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No.
So that was really unfortunate. It was my first. So it was my first year. I was the only freshman on the team. It was pretty scary coming up. The player that started in front of me was a senior, and he got hurt 3 games into the season. So I ended up starting more than half the season. So it's just for the first 2 games, I was also coming off an injury, so it was just really scary, and then I kind of got used to it. But then my sophomore year, we made a run at the title. We made it to the finals and lost. That was probably the most fun year. I played with my brother. We had a lot of great players on that team. And then kind of the year after that is where it really changed a lot, the dynamic of the team. I feel last year there was a lot of arguing. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of leadership. It was kind of where we started to decline a little bit. We didn't do as well. We had a really bad record, especially going into league. There wasn't really a connection with the team. We didn't really. It was just a bunch of individual players out on the field trying to make something happen, it's just hard to play like that.
Yeah.
But I was a captain last year, so it was hard trying to get the team together, trying to keep our spirits up. Yeah. When you go down a goal, it's just all the heads drop and everybody starts yelling at each other. But this year it's been a lot different. I think Taylor has really brought a positive attitude to the team, which is good. I think it's helped us kind of be more supportive of each other, especially during losses. When we go down a goal, the Erie game, we went down twice and we were able to come back. So I think that's something that wouldn't have happened last year. Just because everybody would have been just so mad at each other and just on each other about everything, every little mistake. And this year, there's not as much accountability, I would say. Players don't really take responsibility if they make a mistake, which is kind of a problem, but there's also a lot more friendship on the team. There's a better connection on the field and off the field, which I think just makes us a lot better.
Yeah.
So what does it take to be a captain on the team? I know you said last year you were captain and there wasn't really much, you guys fought a lot. And what changes have you made from last year to this year, making it better? And what roles, do you play a part of?
So as a captain, a lot of the younger players really look up to you. So you kind of have to you can't just be it the whole time, which I think is kind of what happened last year with some of the other captains. It was just a lot of fighting, so I think that changed this year. It's hard when you're upset to kind of just try to bring the team up when someone does something stupid or you guys are losing and everybody's playing bad. I think that's one of the biggest things that I struggle with as a captain is I get really intense and like yell at players and get like really upset with them. But I've been trying to do a better job. Last year, one of our captains was just like really negative a lot of the time. But this year we don't really have that.
And I think all three of our captains this year are a step up from last year.
Yeah, and I think like we're a lot closer with our coach this year. Like I think he trusts us a lot more to make our decisions and to kind of help lead the team a little more, which I think is good. Like I think our team responds a little better to their friends than just an adult yelling at them. Yeah. So I think that's a big part of being captain. And then it's a lot about you have to always like be on your game. Like you can't like because when something happens on the field, the players kind of look to you to like see if everything's okay. So you can't play bad. You gotta you gotta reassure your players a lot, and you gotta keep your like level up always. Because I think so in my younger years, I would always look to like my like captains, like my brother or like our center backs or something. When something would happen, we'd go down a goal to because I trust them. Like it's just like I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna listen to them and do what they tell you. So I think that's like a really important role that our captains have taken this year.
Perfect. Well, as we wrap up this podcast, first off, I'd like to thank Ricardo for coming on and speaking. We really appreciate that.
For having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you on here. And second off, everyone watching this, I expect to see you guys all at the soccer game coming to support the fellas.
Yep.
So I better see you there. Come support them. And yeah, it's really all I got for this podcast. You guys got anything else?
Nope, I don't think so.
Perfect. Well, we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Later.